That blue haze is a hazard at all. We've been told that there have been at least 3 folks this morning transported to area hospitals for the same kinds of concerns we've been hearing about, the nausea and the burning eyes and that sort of thing. Is there any hazard at all in that blue haze?
We have not found anything yet. We have samples that have been transported to our laboratory for analysis by gas chromatograph or gas chromatograph mass spectrometry. That's some big words to say that it really tries to fingerprint what's in there. So the instrumentation that has been used on scene so far does not reveal that there's a problem on it, but people need to understand that their nose sometimes is much more sensitive than the instrumentation and the measurement, and some of these odors definitely can make you nauseated.
There is some talk of a possible shelter in place for the downtown Baton Rouge area that hasn't been determined yet, but is that important, do you think, and are you concerned being out here?
I'm not concerned right now, particularly with the wind on that, but we are very concerned about the safety of the people of Baton Rouge, and both on the East Bank and the West Bank on the Port Allen side, and all of the experts are trying to look at that. I have a feeling that since the odors have displaced and the wind has picked up, that won't be necessary, but the other experts will be dealing with that very shortly.
You guys are pretty familiar with all the different chemicals that were on the barge and that might be trapped beneath the barge that could be potentially released today throughout the day. So you kind of, I think, have at least an idea what you're dealing with here. What is the most dangerous thing? I know benzene is one of the things we've been hearing about.
Well, benzene is one of the organic chemicals that makes up this product that's called pyrolysis gasoline, and it's a mixture of lightweight hydrocarbons that would typically be found in petroleum products on that. And the benzene is just one of the ones that's the easiest to measure. It's in the highest percentage range, anywhere from between, I think, 20% and 69% possibility of benzene in there. There are other compounds such as toluene, perhaps even xylene that could be in there that are also hazardous substances. So the material is dangerous, and the compounds that make it up are dangerous on an individual basis on that. We're lucky that it's remote, it's out on the river, and what we're picking up is light vapors from it rather than people being exposed to high concentrations of the material.
So at this point you've seen no major cause for public concern in terms of a health threat?
Other than the discomfort from burning eyes and the possibility this morning, I think, was the first ones we've actually had nauseated down in this area, which would indicate that before this wind shift came up, there may have been some higher exposure levels.
Thank you very much for joining us, Dale Givens with the Department of Environmental Quality. Kelly, that is really the way it stands right now. I can tell you the barge was checked again this morning for the second time and again later on for the third time to be sure that it was appropriately sealed, and I'm told that it was. They are doing a lot of work on the barge right now, and a lot of that work, of course, involves moving the barge and securing some cables around the barge, and all of that, of course, raises the possibility that some of the chemicals around the barge that might be trapped beneath the surface could be released. So we do expect to have some ongoing problems throughout the day today.
Okay, difficult situation going on out there. Thanks so much, Maria. Now, we do want to stress at this time, the Commissioner of Administration is issuing a mandatory, we're told it is now a mandatory dismissal of all state employees who work in the downtown area. Commissioner of Administration Mark Drennan has issued a mandatory dismissal of all state employees who work in the downtown area. Now, at this time, there's only an advisory that was issued, not a shelter in place, but an advisory, especially for people who suffer respiratory problems such as asthma, to stay indoors and turn off your air condition. At this time, a mandatory dismissal, however, for all state employees as a precautionary measure to leave work at this time in the downtown area. We will continue to monitor the situation very closely, bring you up-to-minute updates as soon as they become available to us. So please stay tuned to WAFB News. Now we go back to regular programming. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Kelly Hennessy, taking a look at the latest updates on this benzene barge situation. Now, we're told WAFB News has learned that as of 11 o'clock, that's about 7 minutes away, as of 11 o'clock, the governmental building, the municipal building, and all city court buildings will dismiss their employees. But public safety employees, such as sheriff's offices, communications, and EMS, are going to stay put. Now, all city parish employees who are not public safety employees will be dismissed at 11 o'clock. Now, the officials out there at the scene monitoring the barge situation still do not know what the blue haze covering much of Baton Rouge, downtown Baton Rouge, is at this time. But they say it is not benzene, and they have been saying this morning that it is not a toxic substance. The mayor is ordering this dismissal as of 11 o'clock. That's just less than 7 minutes away now. For city parish workers outside of those 3 buildings, supervisors are going to make those decisions. Now, once again, we told you earlier that Commissioner of Administration Mark Drennan has held a mandatory dismissal of all state employees who work in the downtown area, unless he hears from department heads saying they do not have any problems. Now, these problems are coming from employees saying they have had trouble from the blue haze, the breathing difficulties, and the foul odor. So once again, that's a dismissal as well of all state employees. That was about 10:30 this morning. We have a crew live on the scene downtown. We will continue to monitor the situation, bring you all the latest news as it becomes available to us. Now back to regular scheduled programming.